Welcome to this space. Welcome to Cancer season. Cancer season is probably going to be a little bit of an emotional roller coaster. I have a Cancer moon. Cancers are very sensitive. They're all about caring, they're all about emotion. They're ruled by the moon also. So, yeah, it could be deep. There could be a lot of deep internal processing. Um, so I'm going to talk a little bit about what this Cancer season holds. We're going to pull some tarot cards, of course, and we're going to do a little bit of a visual um, guided meditation. I'm not going to like this one's going to be a little bit different. First of all, because it's not live, I'm sending you this recording because I am currently actually in Douro Valley. Let me show you. It's beautiful here. And see how nice it is? Peaceful. Um, I'm taking some much needed time for myself, which is going to be a theme through Cancer season for a lot of people because it has a lot to do with emotional boundaries. It has a lot to do with how we care for others, but how we care for ourselves and how we continue to have to actively prioritize our own emotions so that we can help others process their emotions with our support in whichever way we support others processing their emotions, others processing and feeling what they feel, us taking care of others. But in order to do all of that, again, we need to prioritize ourselves, right? So this is me doing that. I am away and I'm actually going to like a 10-day forest retreat. And I get there on Cancer season, on the summer solstice. So I didn't want to do a live workshop. We sold out last time. So if there was an issue with 1,000 people, I would have to deal with 1,000 issues, emails, refunds. So I was like, not going to do that in case there's an issue because we still have Mercury in retrograde. So that being said, thank you for being here. On the download page, you will have a link to download the PDF workbook. I'm going to go through a little bit of the workbook here. Um, but yeah, let's just start with a quick land acknowledgement because I'd like to acknowledge that the majority of people who are taking these workshops are settlers on their land, and we have a role and a responsibility in reconciliation with the Indigenous community. So just ensuring that we're always taking steps towards that and that we're including them in those discussions and not just deciding how we're going to fix this without them. This is an ongoing conversation. Um, the other thing, interpreters, captions, please caption your content. Please get interpreters. Deaf people are real and they like access to the same things that we do. So always just keeping that in mind. Um, Welcome to Cancer season. Welcome to the mother of the zodiac. Welcome to an opportunity for emotional maturity. Welcome to an opportunity to process deep wounds around the mother, around mother-like things. So how we receive care, how we give care. Um, Welcome to resetting your emotional boundaries, right? Welcome to reparenting yourself, chapter 1. Reparenting yourself, chapter 2 will come up. I want to say Capricorn season would be a good time for that. Even Leo season would probably be a pretty good time for that, although Leo season is going to be a little more expansive and exciting and wild. So for everybody who has been feeling like, holy shit, when does this fucking end? Which has been me. Um, I would say after Cancer season, once we move into Leo, we're really going to start seeing some manifestations. We're going to start getting some clarity. We're going to really start getting the answers and the direction that we're looking for the next steps. And it's always about the next steps. And that's the other thing that people need to really start wrapping their fucking head around is like, we need to like release this attachment to the end goal looking a certain type of way. Um, it's just the next steps that we always need, because if you can see the next steps, then you know what to do for the next couple steps. And once you've completed that, the next steps will show up, and then you do that. And then as you move through that type of process, you're going to eventually find your way to manifesting what it is that you need, what it is that you want, and what it is that you desire. If all three of those things are in alignment with you and your true self, then like it'll show up eventually. It's just a matter of time, right? So Cancer season, we could be feeling a little bit reflective, especially because Neptune goes retrograde, I believe, during Cancer season. Neptune stations retrograde on June 25th. So it's a deep reflection. It's a lot of time for us to think about, like, what are we building? What are we dreaming about? What do we desire? Where does our fantasy lie? And Neptune is directly connected to the soul. So what does your soul yearn for? And how do you pick that up? How do you understand what your soul yearns for? Well, you have to monitor your own emotions. And when you're monitoring your emotions, it's going to become apparent what emotions you experience when you are exposed to certain things, certain people, certain ideas. So all of that comes down to Neptune. Neptune, again, is connected deeply to the soul, to the self, to knowing thyself, but not as we are here in the human form, but as we are as a soul, as an energetic being. So how do these people, how do these situations, how do these projects make me feel emotionally? If you are slowing down, Mercury retrograde, slow down, Neptune retrograde, slow down. If you are slowing down to hear yourself internally, to feel yourself internally, then you should be able to identify, oh, this person stresses me out, or this conversation makes me contract, or this type of situation makes me feel uncomfortable. That's how your emotions come up. Emotions, energy, emotion. I've talked about this 100 times. I will talk about it 100 times more. Those emotions pull so much energy up, and they're such a navigation device. So this is a huge time to be reflecting on how we feel about the things in our lives, and to understand how we feel, to then compare that with what direction do we want to move in, and then to decide if, okay, this is how I feel. If I react this way, this is going to happen. If I respond this way, this is going to happen. So, how can I navigate my response to ensure that I'm understanding my feelings, I'm understanding my emotions, I'm choosing how I want to respond to the situation with the clarity I just received about how I feel about this situation. And then I'm going to take steps to ensure that if my dreams, if my fantasies, if my goals are not in line with this energy, I'm going to separate myself from it, and I'm going to look for something that better represents my fantasies and my goals and what I'm really trying to manifest. So that sounded a little bit complicated. If you got lost in a quick recap, you just need to monitor your emotions, and then you want to choose how to respond to your emotions, as opposed to being controlled by your emotions, as opposed to saying, I feel really angry. I'm going to fucking freak out right now. I'm going to cause more drama. I'm going to smack this person in the fucking face because they're not fucking hearing me, because they're not fucking listening to me. Well, first of all, Mercury is in retrograde. So there's probably a miscommunication taking place for sure, or a misinterpretation, or you're not choosing the right word for this person to receive properly what you want to say. So, yeah, frustrations. We have a lot of retrogrades happening right now. So, like, Saturn is still in retrograde, Pluto is in retrograde, Neptune will be in retrograde, Mercury is in retrograde. Does that sound like it's a time that's going to be easy and fun and clear and charged forward? No. So, fucking chill and figure out, like, how do I really feel about this? Okay, that's how I feel about this. How can I choose to respond to this feeling so that I don't continue to play victim or to be a victim in my own undoing? Because I always fall back into these patterns of freaking out and fucking things up, or I get too stressed and then I shut down emotionally, or I put up a wall and I push people away, or like whatever your thing is, because we all have our thing. It's like choose a new way. And don't just choose a new way that feels right, that feels expansive and curious and exciting. And that there's this deep knowing that it doesn't make sense, but it feels better. It feels like the right thing for me to do because I feel comfortable making this decision, although maybe it's a hard decision to make because logically, you've never had that boundary. Logically, you've never said no to these people. Logically, you've never changed the way you've done things because it makes sense. That's just what I do. This is just how things are done. That's the brain. We're releasing the brain and we're following emotion. Cancer season is all about emotion. It's also all about healing these old emotions. And how do you heal those old emotions? Well, you need to witness them. How do you witness them? The universe will send you people that will trigger them. And in that triggering, that is when these emotions come up as a navigation device. But where a lot of us keep going wrong is that we don't witness the emotion, understand how we feel, and then actively decide to move into a new decision making process to choose a new path. Instead, we just react and we fucking freak out or we shut down or we cope. Like, what self soothing methods do you use? Do you eat too much? Do you smoke? Do you smoke too much weed? Do you drink too much? Do you just lay in bed? Like, and trust me, I get it. I'm a Libra rising. I'm like literally trying to find perfect balance this lifetime. And it's fucking hard, especially when you're doing this shit, especially when you're doing the internal work, especially I know a lot of people here are energy workers and have clients. Like, I fucking get it. It's fucking draining and it's fucking hard. And to find proper balance is like a fucking nightmare. And a lot of us do smoke too much pot or drink too much or eat too much because we're constantly dealing with clients and people. And you don't even have to be an energy worker for that. It's just like a lot of us, all of us, have something that we do to help us self soothe. Well, where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 5 months? Does your self soothing technique support that? If you want to be fit and healthy, does overeating every time you get stressed help that? If you want to be clear minded, does drinking help that? You know what I mean? It's like, so this is the goal, the dream, the calling. This is the direction I want to move in. Neptune, this is direction I'm feeling called in. And now with the retrograde, we're going to be sitting here thinking, okay, if this is the direction I want to be called in, how do I actually fucking get there when I'm constantly feeling these emotions? Cancer season. So trying to really understand the relationship between the emotions we're feeling. Why are we feeling this? So what is the trigger? What is the underlining emotional imbalance or trauma or issue? And how do I actively choose to respond to that differently so that I can continue to build a life that I desire? Now, Saturn retrograde with Neptune retrograde adds another layer to this where we are going to be questioning what we desire to build, what we even want our lives to look like. That, coupled with Mercury in retrograde right now, is having us think, how are we even going to make this possible? How do I even find the right people in my community? How do I release the wrong people from my community? How do I release the people that I no longer feel attached to? How do I release the energies, the belief systems? And this Mercury retrograde has been so specific to like mental things. I feel like it hasn't been as like some Mercury retrogrades, you really notice a lot of people from the past coming around. And of course, a lot of us are going to notice people from the past coming back around because that's how we wrap up old connections, old things, etc. Exes, all that same sort of like bullshit that we always go through. I get it. But this Mercury retrograde to me, especially because it's been in Gemini, And there has been so much action in Gemini over the last couple months, and especially over this Gemini season. Sorry, this Gemini season. Um, and it's because Gemini rules the thoughts. Gemini is connected to Mercury, which is how we process information, how we communicate. So, like, the reason we've had so much action in Gemini is because we needed so much support to break through these old mental blocks, these old ideas of self, these old stories that we tell ourselves. We're trying to learn a new way to communicate. And what are we trying to communicate? Saturn in retrograde, our boundaries. We're trying to reestablish our boundaries. So we've gone through this process of beginning to reestablish who we are, recreate a new life, to recreate ourselves in order to find alignment with that new life so that we can manifest it in actuality. And then with that, we've also been given an opportunity to reflect on how we communicate those boundaries, Mercury in retrograde, and through Gemini. Sorry, I'm not sure what just fucking happened there. This just shut off. Mercury in retrograde. Through Gemini season, how we use those boundaries to establish new relationships, to use those boundaries to understand how to connect with new networks. And when we show up to these new relationships, when we show up to these new connections, when we show up to these new networks, where are the limitations of giving? Where are the limitations of responsibility? Where is my obligation versus your obligation? And how do I understand how these new dynamics are working? And how do I ensure that if this is my vision and this is the direction I want to move in, how can I hold that vision and hold myself in authenticity and integrity to continue working towards that vision while relating to those around me? Because your vision, somebody else's vision can be very different, but you can work together very well to help achieve, to help create, etc. But if your vision is completely different from this person's vision and they think that you're helping them create their vision and you have a very different intention because you want to be creating your vision in harmony with the partnership, yes, but like it's not all about them. It's also not all about you. So we're trying to find this balance. Now entering Cancer season, we need to set up the emotional boundaries. We need to set up the energetic boundaries. We need to reparent ourselves, learning again, how do we connect with the things we love, with the people we love, with our self-soothing techniques? How do we do all of this in a healthier way? How do we say no to people confidently when we don't have the energy to support them? How do we understand that we need to prioritize ourselves first and foremost so that we can actually create what we want to create and do what we want to do, but in a way that's not detrimental to ourselves, that we're not prioritizing others' well-being over our own well-being? So this is sort of like, um, I don't really have any notes this time. I just felt called to just kind of talk about it. So this is just what's coming through. So some of you may be getting different downloads, that maybe your experience is different from my experience right now or what I'm experiencing, but I'm just explaining what I'm going through, and I'm looking at some of the dates and pulling some information from that as well. So yeah, I feel that this is a huge opportunity to learn how to really care for ourselves in new ways. On the 29th, or no, sorry, on the 24th of June, we have a full moon in Capricorn, which is funny because Capricorn is like the father sign. So we have this full moon that represents this father archetype, and it's happening during Cancer season, which represents the mother archetype. So we really are learning how to reparent ourselves. And I mean, again, just my own personal experience, like I now have the opportunity to travel quite a bit. So that's brilliant. But just because I'm traveling doesn't mean I'm on vacation. You know what I mean? So I'm learning how to reparent myself, knowing that how can I go to this beautiful home,
but not be in vacation mode thinking, I'm just going to drink whatever I want, eat whatever I want. I'm going to just give myself a couple days to chill and do, and that's fine. And you can do that a couple days, you know, a month. And I think we all should. We need to let off some steam. We need to just be fucking humans sometimes. We need to make mistakes and learn. And sometimes you just don't give a shit and you want to drink a bottle of wine. I fucking get it. But I can't do that every time I'm traveling just because I'm traveling and I'm on vacation. Like, I'm gone for 3.5 weeks. So for 3.5 weeks straight, I can just do whatever the fuck I want. Like, no, Chris, get it together. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to reparent myself, figure out what balance looks like. This is what we're all emotionally going through on some level. And this full moon in Capricorn on June 24th is going to really highlight certain things around relationships with the father, relationships with our parents, because this full moon is happening in Cancer season. So you have the mother and the father archetype, the moon, and Saturn represents like divine masculine energy, you could say. I know the sun is also typically, you know, the father, and the moon is the grandmother energy and the earth is the mother energy. But that being said, when you're looking at the zodiacal wheel, you're looking at Cancer as the dominant female presence, Cancer being ruled by the moon. So this again is a huge opportunity to really figure out how we want to do what we're doing and how we want to get there in a respectful way where we have boundaries emotionally, physically, sexually, energetically, all of these boundaries in place so that we can continue to achieve what we really want to achieve. So this full moon in Capricorn should be bringing forward awareness around how we're spending our time, how we're spending our energy. Is this investment good? Is it a good investment? Is it a bad investment? And again, an investment of time, energy, money, etc. This has a lot to do with money. This has a lot to do with how you're making money or how you're saving money or what you're doing with your money, or how you're going to make more money, how you want to save more money. I believe we still have Uranus and Taurus. So there's this whole waking up happening around resources, shared land, food. And Saturn is how we spend our time doing things. So when you're looking at how you're spending your time doing things and you're reflecting upon what you're doing, where you're doing it, who you're doing it with, this is when all these questions come up. Do I want to keep working with these people? Do I want to keep moving in this direction? Well, Mercury in retrograde is allowing us to wrap up and understand the projects that we don't want to be with, the people we don't want to be with, and then we release them over time. We just moved out of eclipse season. Eclipse season, long story short, opened a whole new door for us and closed a lot of old things. I personally am in a completely different space. I also help the collective. So I find that my life, the rhythm of my life, kind of in some ways is right on track or right on time with the rest of like the collective. But then there's a lot of things that happen to me, I would say like a little bit before, so that I can experience it, so that I can talk about it. And yeah, I've just noticed that like my life is like completely different right now from what it was last year. It's insane. Like what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, who I'm doing it with, where I'm doing it, just the level at which that we're doing it. It's just like everything is changing. And that will happen to everybody as we continue to level up. But you need to be, and this is what Cancer season is going to bring us, you need to be leveling up internally as well. You need to be finding that emotional maturity, finding that emotional understanding, finding those new emotional boundaries, and learning how to process your emotions in a better way so you're not reactive, so that you can choose how to respond. Because when you're choosing how to respond, you are way more in control. And when you are in control of your emotions, you are in control of your energy. And when you are in control of your energy, you can properly maintain all of the manifestations that are coming. You can maintain everything that you are learning, everything that you are gathering, and you will be able to create longevity. You want to be creating long-term success. You want to be creating long-term finance. You want to be creating wealth, wealth of health, wealth of opportunities, wealth of finances, wealth of good, solid, trustworthy connections. Like this is what we're building as Saturn is in retrograde. And Saturn was retrograding in Aquarius, which is like all about forward thinking, future connections. It's reshaping the world in a new way that we've never done. This is like, we're testing things out. Like, have you ever met an Aquarius? You think you know them and you're like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Like, they're always just, it's ideas and like they're very futuristic. So, how do we move into this new level of ourself, level of our experience, which is this new future self, this future version of my life? But I can't get there with all these structures. I can't get there with these old habits. I can't get there with these old routines. I can't get there with these same fucking people. It's like, so we're shifting all these things. And all of this is still happening through Cancer season. We're going to move into, on July 9th, a new moon in Cancer, which is going to give us an emotional reset and going to allow us to set new intentions for emotional boundaries, for how we care, who we care for, and what we care about, so that we can release all of this old bullshit. And we've got Three of Cups, reverse falls out. Releasing the bullshit, releasing the gossip, the people who don't serve us, understanding that not everybody wants to sit at your table because they want to see you eat. Some of them just want to see what you're eating. Some of them just want to sit there and comment, and then they want to leave and they want to talk about everything. And they aren't there to enhance your life. They aren't there to support your vision. They're there to observe and to maybe just steal some ideas, or to, they smile, but it's an evil eye, you know what I mean? And you're being called to move away from anything that makes you feel like that. With the Page of Wands, we have inspiration, we have new ideas, new creativity, opportunity, but it's a page, like it's still a very young, fresh energy, and you don't have to know what to do with your wand. You don't have to know what to do with this stick just yet. You just found it. So now you have all these ideas of what you can do with it, where you want to go, and you have more free time because we're leaving behind these people, these projects, these things that don't support us. We don't want these half in, half out people. We don't want these low vibrational experiences anymore. We can't fucking do it because we're living in authenticity now. We're living in integrity. We're living with this understanding of self. And this, again, is this Neptune energy that's going to come through. You're reevaluating who you even are, and you're reevaluating, Cancer season, how you even feel about that. And all of that is happening in the mind right now, Mercury in retrograde, while we're sitting here being like, how do I even fucking feel about this? Or why does this keep happening? Or how do I keep ending up around these people or these situations? It's like, I'm fucking over it. And we just had eclipse season. We just had the new moon in the new moon in Gemini eclipse energy, fresh start, fresh beginning. So we have this new opportunity, this childlike joy. We're excited, but I mean, it's not easy. A lot of us are also probably sad, and going through Cancer season, you're going to really start feeling the feels. Whatever you've been holding back is likely going to come up. Probably going to be crying. What? Oh, hey, just give me a second. I'm just recording a workshop. Sorry, you know what, I'm just gonna say it. My chef just knocked on the door. I was like, am I really gonna say my chef right now? That sounds so bougie, but like, that's who it was, girl. Y'all can fucking manifest your own chefs. I'm telling you right now. But like, that's what I mean. We're trying to figure out how to get into this next level of our lives, how to get into, sorry, I also thought that was Daniela, my assistant. So that's why I was like, what? Because she's in the room next to me, but it wasn't. So now I feel kind of bad. So I'll say sorry to her later. It's just time to fucking level up, bitch. And you don't need these fucking people in your life. You don't need these fucking nobodies who are like, not that they're nobodies. It's just like, they're nobody to you anymore. You know what I mean? Like, and God bless them. We release them with love. We release them with like hope and all of these beautiful things. Like, they deserve abundance and they deserve love, but like, they're not in a healed enough space to move forward with you at this time. And trust me, it's been very hard letting go of like I let go of one of my twin flames best friends that was supposed to help me with everything. And like, it just, some people fucking aren't leveling up. They're not doing the fucking work. And like, if you have people, Three of Cups, who like me were lying to you and stealing from you and manipulating you, then like, you gots to fucking go. You know what I mean? Like, we just don't have the fucking time anymore. So that's where we're kind of at with this. Mercury also enters Cancer on July 3rd. No. July 11th, Mercury enters Cancer. So a lot of thoughts around all of these things once again. So you might be a little more in your head around how to emotionally process, how you feel about love, how you feel about boundaries, and you'll be more willing to communicate them. You'll be more willing to talk about how you feel and to talk about how you're not cool doing what you've always been doing if you've felt that people have been taking advantage of you, because it's just not cool. You know what I mean? So, okay, let's pull one more card, and then I'm going to do one moon card. We're also at the summer solstice, which is really amazing. Okay, yeah, so we've got the world reverse. So there's still a lot of things that we're trying to figure out because we don't necessarily have the go ahead for everything just yet. I've been saying this for a while. I think Leo season is really, oh my God, Leo season, LOL. As soon as I said Leo season in my head, it was like, look down. And I looked down and it was right there. Leo season and the world both reverse. When we come into Leo season, I really, really feel excited about the full circle moments, about the expansion, about the opportunity, about just being a naked baby, tits out on a horse, riding through the fucking fields, not giving a shit about anyone. And like, this is our new identity. This is the sun. The sun represents me, who I am, how I show up. So like the sun here, beside the world card, these are both major arcana. Your answers are coming. What you need to do with your stick, what you need to do to find your new life, to find your new self, to find your new soul, family, and friends and tribe, which is like the girl who's just knocking, Leslie from Licking Plates. I met her at the dog park, and her husband, or her and her partner, are like incredibly high vibrational processing, like good fucking people. And like, this is what I mean. I had to let go of certain people, and then that energy gets replaced. And not only does that energy get replaced, but that energy gets replaced by the right people who also can support you. She's a chef. I'm a fucking person who does what I do. And I travel a lot and I work a lot, and like, I would love somebody to come cook healthy meals for me because I'm literally juggling 3,000 fucking balls, running 2 businesses and doing all this accessible entertainment stuff, which you guys have to watch my music video. It's coming out on the 25th at the end of Pride Month. Don't Give a Funk About You is the song. So fucking good. I'm fucking busy. I don't have time to cook delicious, healthy meals for myself. And like, she does. So boom, there you go. Now we bring her, and it's just great. So my point is like, as these things are happening, the right people show up that just seamlessly work into your life, seamlessly can do something that they can help you with. You don't need to fucking be tied up into the drama and the bullshit with like this twin flame that I let go of, because I don't have to deal with your shit anymore. So all of that energy gets replaced, and look who shows up. A different person who can help me with something that doesn't stress me out and actually makes my life easier, which creates more balance, resolution, and allows me to step into my new identity, and allows me to operate at a higher level, and allows me to level the fuck up so that I can continue to serve the collective doing what I love doing, which is part of my soul calling. That's Neptune. I'm learning about myself, figuring out what I do, wanting to learn how to do it with a better team, with better people that are in line with who I am and what I do. Because like, energy doesn't lie, intentions don't lie. And you might not always feel the energy, you might not always see the intentions, but on the other side, the universe fucking knows. So like, they're gonna bring it to your attention. So just monitor yourself, how you're feeling around the people, the places, and things that you're doing, and then choose to respond to that feeling. Okay, let's pull a moon card. We're gonna do a quick visualization because I do have to pack and leave. And I think breakfast is ready and I'm fucking starving. I'm so fucking hungry. Okay, one moon card, please, here for the collective. What do they need to know? My beautiful. Okay, we've got these 2. Okay, I'll take that one also. We've got 3. Okay, and I like to do a bottom of the deck. So, okay, a new romantic cycle begins. So for some of you, there's definitely been some infidelity, some lies, deceit, cheating, etc. So that's going to be some of you will be processing that for sure. You could be a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio yourself. You could have been dealing with one. We could have also been dealing with a fire sign. I've got some Leo energy here as well. However, new moon in Libra, a new romantic cycle begins. I also like to think that this, instead of saying romance, should just say intimate, because I think a new intimate connection is beginning. A new intimate cycle is beginning. It's like these people. I met them recently-ish at the dog park. We chatted for a while. She makes food. I'm opening a shop. I was traveling. Why don't we come? You can cook for us while we're traveling. We can test a menu out. Blah, blah. It just boom, boom, boom. It just works. It's all great. It's expansion. It's excitement. That's intimacy. I can sit on the couch and talk to these people about all of this shit, and they'll listen and they'll understand, and we have a discussion about it. And it's like, that's intimacy. I can connect with people in an intimate way. Those connections are brand new connections. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. A new intimate cycle begins. Some of you definitely meeting a Libra. Nothing is yet set in stone. The other thing I wanted to talk about with Cancer energy is that Cancer is cardinal. This is the mutable moon on the bottom, which is why I was stuttering. Cancer is cardinal energy. So it's all about driving forward in a new way. So like nothing is yet set in stone. You can reshape your life. You can reshape the next steps. You can reshape the people around you. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of energy to process. It's going to be a lot of emotions to process. And you have to let go of old versions of yourself. And then you're going to go through this whole reflective part. It's like, it's heavy. It's not easy to level up. It's not easy emotionally to feel okay leaving people behind or being disappointed in others, etc. But like, you are only responsible for yourself. So you need to understand that nothing is yet set in stone, and you can change your mind at any time. So whatever this wand is that you want to move forward with, figure it out, because it's going to bring you into a full circle moment. It's going to bring you more expansion overall. Okay. Nothing will come of this situation. So there's certain situations that we're worrying about. There's certain things. Well, what about this? And what about that? And it doesn't matter. Nothing will come of it. You just need to follow your own internal compass, your own internal navigation. And if you're trusting yourself the most, don't even trust me, more than you trust yourself, just because you're like, oh, well, he's Chris Grassini and knows all of these things, and he has tarot cards. Like, whoa, great for me. Don't listen to me more than you listen to yourself. So you need to really just understand that when you're moving through these situations, we don't know where they're going, but you need to be compassionate. You need to be empathetic, and you need to understand that, yeah, sometimes our minds get the better of us, especially in the middle of a Mercury fucking retrograde. And like in the middle of a Mercury retrograde, you're going to be feeling a little bit like overthinking, etc. Nothing will come of the situation. Fear and contraction and this tensed up energy, it's not going to do anything good for you. If you feel fear in the body, it's not intuition. Like intuition is light and easy, and it's a knowing, and it's a soft, gentle pull, and it's curious and exciting and expansive. Fear is contracting, and it's old loops, and it's things you've thought about 1,000 times. And it's like, nothing will come of those situations. Okay. Do not let fear get the better of you. The last thing I have is bring love into the situation. If that isn't the perfect Cancer season card, it's all about love. It's all about self-love. It's all about how we give love. It's all about how we receive love and how we expect to receive love. A lot of people have issues around receiving. I'm one of them. I have issues around receiving. Well, no, I don't want to word it like that, because we need to be careful with our words. I am currently clearing the issues I have around receiving money, around receiving intimate connections, around receiving trustworthy people into my life, etc. I've had a lot of struggles around these things over a vast majority of my life. And now I am in a very different situation than I was for the vast majority of my life. And it's a mind fuck to accept abundance into your life, to accept good people into your life, to accept that not everybody's going to fucking steal from you and lie to you and cheat on you and do this or do that. It's like, it's hard to rewire your brain, which also comes down to really reparenting yourself, having those discussions with your own inner child, with your own inner wounds, with your own inner self, and realizing that you do need to bring love into these situations, because sometimes you're thinking things, but nothing's going to come of it. And these are just old fears. As again, as we move into these new cycles of intimacy, and we also have emotions are running high. Well, that's through Cancer season. We're going to be feeling a lot of emotions. So give yourself time to process, give yourself time to feel what you're feeling. And it is what it is, you know? Everything will begin to move forward again. Everything is temporary. This too shall pass. So, yeah, don't get too fixated on what's coming up. Just observe it, choose how you wish to respond, and really reflect on the life that you want to build and why and with who. Okay, so that is what's going on through Cancer season. I am going to, you can begin to close your eyes. We're going to do just a quick visualization. If you want to lay down, I'm going to actually lay down like this. So yeah, the first thing I want you to do is to just close your eyes and to take 3 deep breaths. So I'm going to count you in. We're just going to do a bit of a silent visualization here. So let's inhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold. And release, 2, 3, 4. And a second time, we're going to inhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold. Really relaxing the jaw and the shoulders as we exhale, 2, 3, 4. And one final inhale, filling the belly. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold. And releasing it all out, 2, 3, 4. So I just want you to observe what comes forward. We're not necessarily going to do like a TV visualization or like a garden visualization. I just want you to see what emotions come up or what people come to mind, what situations come to mind when you think about resetting your emotional boundaries. So is there an experience from the past? Is there a person or a situation that we're currently in where we feel that they are overstepping their boundaries or your boundaries? They are overstepping your boundaries. Do you feel that maybe you set boundaries for yourself and you overstep those boundaries? Are there maybe past situations from work, from love, family, or friends where you were taken advantage of, or maybe you took advantage of another? And now we're realizing that that connection was out of balance. Maybe there was a relationship where you just gave and gave and gave, and you wanted to care for this person. You wanted this person to get better, to be well. And they just took and took and took. This could be work, family, friends. But for a second, can you just reflect on your own behavior and what you contributed to that situation? And maybe you contributed way too much to this person or to this job or to this friend. And they just didn't return the favor, or they didn't follow through with their end of the bargain. And then I want you to think, if after you even realized this was happening, did you continue to give? Did you continue to give? And now I want to just go one step further and ask, Why? What comes to mind when you think, why did I continue to give to this person or to this situation? To give your time, your energy, your care, maybe your money, your resources. Why did you continue to give to these people or to this situation or to this person when you felt on a soul level that they were taking more than they deserved? Was there a part of you that you saw in them that you wanted to heal? Was there a part of you that you saw in them that was yearning for you to care about yourself the same way you cared about them? Was there a part of you that needed healing? And instead, which is totally normal, instead of us diving into deeper self discovery, deeper knowing, deeper healing of ourselves, instead we tried to help those around us or fix those around us. Maybe as a distraction, maybe you didn't even realize that's what was happening, but is there a part of you that needed the healing and the love and the support that you were pouring into another person? If yes, do you know how to identify where that broken part of you came from? You don't need to find all the answers right now, and this is recorded, so you can do this a couple times through cancer season if you want to visit back to this meditation. But it's important for us to understand the parts of ourself that need healing so that we can stop attracting other people who reflect that and mirror that back to us, so that we can actually heal those parts, and then we can find relationships and people that are in better balance. So what I want you to do now is to think of a relationship that is in better balance than the one you were just thinking of. It can be work, love, friends, family. Why is this better balance? What about this connection is more equal with the give and take? How is it that you can identify those people's or this person's or this project's emotional boundaries? Have you had a clear discussion about where you end and they begin, or is there just a continuous blending of you and this person, or you and this project, or you and these people? What do the boundaries look like in this relationship, and why are they better than the one we were just thinking of? I want you to think about how you can prioritize your own self-care. Is there a new routine or a new habit? Is there something we can let go of and release? Is there something we want to work into our day? Is it journaling? Is it exercise? Is it cooking or eating different foods? Like, what can you do to prioritize your own self-care? And maybe that means nothing. Maybe that means just resting. How can you begin to take more rest, to slow down, to ensure that you're nurturing yourself? And through this care, how can you begin to reparent the parts of yourself that you've been clearing? once we've identified childhood wounds and traumas and we're clearing out these old habits and these old people and these old situations, we're welcoming in the new. But as we're welcoming in new connections and new abundance, we also need to reparent ourselves so that we can maintain all of these new connections, all of these new opportunities. So where is your focus through this Cancer season when you think about reparenting yourself? Where is your focus when you think about what needs to change and how to take compassionate and consistent steps towards making those changes? These are little things that will be really helpful. I suggest you journal or you use the downloadable workbook and fill out the writing prompts. But before we come back up, I just want you to send love to all of those people, the ones that have hurt us. They need it. Send love to yourself and forgiveness for being so caring, for being so giving. There's nothing wrong with you. And I want to just take one last deep breath here. So inhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold. And exhale, 2, 3, 4. And you can slowly open your eyes and come back. I want to apologize that that visualization was a little rough because my fucking Zoom shut down 3 times in the middle of it and then kept opening back up. So it would pause and record the recording or on and off, in and out for the last, basically that entire meditation. So I actually don't know how it's going to go. I hope it came out somewhat smooth because this kept opening up and shutting down and saying, this meeting is now being recorded. And I'm like, fucking great. We're in the middle of a guided meditation, bitch. So anyways, yeah, that is our Cancer season vibe. You've got the workbook. Leo season is coming up. I'm so excited for that. We will have a live workshop again. Mercury is still in retrograde and the post shadow period. So on my website, I have the Mercury retrograde workshop and workbook is 50% off right now if anyone is interested. And that's really it. So yeah, enjoy your Cancer season. Ooh, excuse me. Happy Pride Month to all my gays and theys out there. My family, I love you. And go watch my new music video because it's fucking lit. Yeah, that's that. Okay. I'm sending you all so much love and I will see you very soon. Okay. All the best.